It has been calm before now, but now it's beginning to turn. Fitful gusts reel through the forest, shaking the boughs of the coppery beech and the shimmering ash. Gold-green leaves, faded remnants of a verdant summer season. They flicker and quake on the gale before, twirling towards the sodden ground below. Decay awaits them there. The whole wild world seems to be going to ground now, slowing down, turning inward, decaying. Time's shadow darkens the land as all around prepares for sleep and prepares for death. Dusk descends quickly as the squall rolls in. I catch glimpses of the moon through racing clouds, its silvery light trying to lessen the approaching darkness. Thin wisps of cloud glow moonlight white as they flurry overhead. They dance lightly, almost playfully. A slew of illuminated ribbons carry on icy winds across an inky sky. But the gale blows. It clamours and swells. It whips the gathering clouds above into a bustling frenzy, and all playfulness is lost as a tumultuous wildness begins to rage in the skies. The blood moon disappears as the sky fills with thunder. The valley is filled with the roar of the oncoming storm. The land shakes with the cacophony, so raw, so powerful, and so unsettling that it feels otherworldly. She is here now. I lie awake and listen as she races past. She travels along riverbed and over treetops, through gullies and beyond mountains, shrieking as all around her trembles and quakes. I picture her in the midst of this tempest, wild, fierce, untamed. I see her cloaked in the darkness of her storm clouds, skin deathly pale, torn veil slicing through the wind. I watch her in my mind's eye as she wields her black-thorn staff, raising it high above her head and then wildly and swiftly lowering it to strike the ground below with force. She rains in blow after blow after blow across the land, a frozen place cold enough to pierce the bones left in her wake. Bridget whispers her goodbyes. The Kialach is here. Winter has returned. The Kialach, the crone, the divine hag, the harbinger of winter, the personification of elemental forces of nature. She is often associated with destructive and unpredictable events like storms, whirlpools, darkness, winter, scarcity, and death. A seasoned deity, she begins her role at Samhain and begrudgingly relinquishes her icy grip for Bridget to rule the summer months. She is the dark half of the year, the crone beside the maiden, and the shadow beside the light. Blackthorn, drageen in Irish, also finds itself on the shadow side of lore. Although the shrub does serve some practical uses, the hard wood is prized for making shillelaghs and staffs. Dense thorns make it an excellent boundary plant, and the fruits can be used to infuse gin. Its strongest association are with the dark side of the underworld. Its fierce barbed spikes, astringent fruit and twisted form attest to these shadowy links with the supernatural. Thorns used to cast spells on the man and beast, black rods of wood used by witches to threaten mortals, the bitter ingested fruit used to birth enormous monsters fierce enough to swallow warriors whole, the dark twisted branches inhabited by wild protective fey folk. The same drageen is thought to come from Troganon, meaning wretched one, and this wretched plant is often linked to women who are seen as hostile, malevolent, and threatening, also known as the dark crone of the woods. Blackthorn is linked to war goddesses and fierce female spirits. It is easy to see then how this dark crone became so closely linked with that wild winter crone, the Kialach. It is no surprise that the staff she wields to usher in the bleakness of winter is hewn from the wood of this fabled plant, and with all the darkness and shadow comes some balance. Although heavily associated with the hag and the winter and all the harshness that this entails, blackthorn is also one of the first plants to flower as the season turns. Its delicate spray of white flower cover the landscape from early March onwards. Their sweet blooms are a welcome reprieve from the long dark winter and an early herald for the arriving of spring and the return of the sun. As the wheel turns and the blossoms emerge, the hedgerows are transformed. Twisted dark shadows where once there was slumber and scarcity become shimmering white-green vistas of growth abundance. The crone grows weary as the maiden makes a return. The Kialach prepares for rest as Bridget prepares to bring forth her light. Blackthorn ushers in the dark death of winter, but it also encourages us to rejoice in spring. And I think this is where lore and myth hold so much value. The myth of destruction and creation, the turning of the wheel, the shifting of the seasons, the passing of the mantle from the Kialach to Bridget and back again, the plants associated with these shifts. They all help shape a deeper understanding and appreciation for the wild world around us. While nature is the force that sustains us all, and nature is complex and multifaceted and full of seeming contradictions. Death surrounds life, growth comes from decay, destruction gives rise to creation. Light will always have shadow. Lore and myth help us examine these contradictions, to sit with them and to pick them apart, to find out are they not actually contradictions at all, but the very essence of all that exists. Each myth, each story told is like a golden thread connecting us to the land, to the wilderness, and to ourselves. Ancient knowledge runs through these threads, knowledge of land and sea and plant and animal, the perceptible and the liminal. They weave a tapestry so pure and magical, unlocking the secrets of the world around us. They nourish a reverence for the complexities of existence. They offer us a glimpse beyond the tangible and beyond the veil.